What is up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to Dishin with Musicians. Oh my gosh, episode number 9. This is crazy. It's been a minute since I've done one of these, and I'm super excited to jump back. We got an incredible list of people coming in the next few months, so tune in, and these will be on all the streaming platforms as well here shortly. So I'm super excited. We got this really great singer, Dan Whitaker, singer-songwriter from Chicago, Illinois, here to visit with us today. So make sure to help us out, share it, organically spread it. That's what we like to see is more matrix octopus arms out there kind of doing the thing and getting that organic love. So, and by all means, please uh, chat with us. This is a live broadcast, so feel free to ask any questions that you may have as we groove along the way. I'm just going to jump right into it. This is a really cool experience. We met. Well, we'll talk about it where we met, but this is awesome. I'm going to welcome him on the show, Mr. Dan Whitaker in the house. What's up, Dan?
Hey, what up?
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Good. Welcome. So, are you currently in Chicago right now?
Yep, I am.
Nice. How's the weather in Chicago right now? It's February 2nd.
Yeah, it's snowing a lot here.
Is
I
it?
got about a half a foot of snow today.
Oh my gosh, really? Wow. I remember those days. I lived in Chicago for 10 years. It was a very interesting time of my life. I always tell people I grew up in Chicago, It's like it really shaped me. It certainly gave me a shock to the system. Just, city life is different from where I'm from. So
Yeah, I'm used to it. I've been here for 30 years, so
is that right?
yeah.
Where are you originally from?
Well, I went to high school in Buffalo Grove, which is a northwest suburb.
Okay. All right. So you're an Illinois kid.
Yeah, and then after that I went to college in DeKalb out in the corn.
Oh, of course.
Northern Illinois.
That's Northern Illinois. Yes. Great college. Yes. Heard a lot of things about that. Good scene out there too. Kind of, I believe I played out there. We won some kind of battle of the bands, I believe, out there one time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I got my start in music. There was, a lot of bands, rock bands for the most part.
Right.
And I had a rock band. My band was called Junebug Massacre.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really? Junebug Massacre. Who came up with that name? That's incredible.
That was my name. We weren't quite as threatening as the name sounds, really.
Right. Right.
It's kind of more of a punk funk thing.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I also was in a punk funk thing, and it's funny how many people you discover that are now in the world of, whether it be honky-tonk, which you were in. Now I want to talk later about your incredible styles that you've kind of delved in with the new record, but it's funny to me how many people came from the punk world that are now doing different styles like honky-tonk country or bluegrass or whatever it may be.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. And I'm not sure why, but for one reason or another, we've all kind of drifted into this, kind of Americana
right
aspect of music these days.
Yes. I don't know. I've talked about this in past video podcasts where it's like, the beat of a punk beat is that don't check. And I think that's so ingrained in drummers. I was a punk drummer. So for me to switch over to country, it was like a no-brainer. That beat was like ingrained into my soul, Just no matter what I did, it was just like, it was there. So it was a natural switch to bluegrass for me. It went from like punk rock to hardcore bluegrass to more traditional bluegrass. Now it's like, I delve into all kinds of, genres, but that's amazing. What was the big place to play in DeKalb? Was there a hot spot?
Yeah, it was called Otto's.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, a big old place on the corner or near the corner of Lincoln and First Ave.
Yes, I've played autos before. Yep.
Yeah,
I-
everybody's played there.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gone. They tore it down.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Really? The whole building is gone? Oh,
Yeah, it went to they I don't know, whoever owned it last, the I think all the pipes froze and it was just a giant mess, and so they just
oh
knocked it.
wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Thinking back on the Haywood Yards days, I I'm fairly certain we played there quite a bit actually. Um,
Oh yeah, I had a balcony and this
yes.
giant room and a bar up front. You walk down a couple stairs. Yeah.
Yes. Wow, that's crazy, man. I haven't heard that name in a long time. Yeah, you can actually get online and watch it get demolished. It looks like there's a it says on the website, watch a legendary DeKalb business get demolished. I'm assuming they're talking about, yeah, it looks like they're talking about autos. That's funny. In real time, you can watch it get demolished. That's great.
I'll
Wow.
have to check
Yes.
that out. Yeah.
That was actually a pretty hot spot. You know, a lot of Chicago bands would migrate out there. So that was probably really good for the college scene, I would imagine.
Yeah. There was a lot of Chicago bands, and a lot of student bands. Eventually, a bunch of us kind of got our act together a little bit, and we put out a CD. It was a compilation
Oh,
called
really?
it's called "On a Clear Day You Can See Byron,"
Hmm. That's an
which is
interesting title.
a reference to the nuclear plant in Byron, Illinois.
Oh my oh my god. Nice. Nice. Little undertone there for sure.
hmm
Wow. Okay. That's wild. I remember a lot of bands talking about going out to autos. I remember it being kind of a hot spot. You know, anywhere there's a college scene, I suppose, you know, you're going to find bands migrate. So, how often did you play there?
Oh, pretty often. At one point, I was even doing sound there.
Oh, really? So you were a staple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And then there were some other places there. There was a coffee house. I actually worked at the coffee house too.
Nice.
And there's a dump called Andy's. I don't think that's there anymore. There was like an Eagles club in town that bands played.
Nice.
I was just I was just out on tour recently, and I stayed with Otis Ball, and
Okay.
he was a dude who actually put out a record back then in the early '90s. So that's pretty cool. Get
Nice.
to hang with him.
Reminiscing about the days in DeKalb.
hmm
Nice. Yeah. That's cool. I too was my in Lincoln, Nebraska here where I went to college. I also worked at the club that I played at all the time. It was called Knickerbockers. And a lot of
hmm
Nebraskans tuning into this will know that club. It too was demolished and bulldozed and whatever else you want to say. It's no longer there, but now there's a big hotel in its place. But it was just I mean, you you name it. I mean, it wasn't like the Cog Factory in Omaha where you could literally watch the toilet come alive in front of your eyes. But it had its fair share of smells and sticky spots on the floor, and the carpet on the stage was pretty mushy. So yeah, great rock club. You know, I think you always have to experience a few of those in your time for sure. So what?
Yeah.
So when you got out of college, what was your whole thing? I mean, I know you've put out a ton of material in the past.
hmm
Like somewhere I read that you were doing the Shinebenders since '85. Is that true?
No, that's not true.
I was
Let's
gonna
see.
say, I was
I'll
gonna
clear
say,
up
like,
the timeline a little bit.
yeah,
Let's
yeah,
see.
yeah.
I moved to Chicago in like '92, I believe.
'92. That's more of your timeline. I was like, there's no way this dude
Yeah.
like
No,
85.
I don't even think I had I went to college. My first year was '85. That was when the Bears won the Super Bowl,
Yes, of course.
and I did not have a band then. I was just playing guitar, writing songs. Um, but let's see. I moved to Chicago in '92. The band was still together, Junebug Massacre, and then we broke up pretty quick. And then had a couple of other bands. There was a band called A Horse Named Bill,
Okay.
kind of a folky band. But
Sure,
then
sure.
we started playing like grunge too. Yeah, we were all over the map. Lasted a couple of years, and then I started a band called Great Plains Gypsies.
Oh, nice.
And
That's a great name.
that, yeah, that's when I first put out. Well, Horse and Bill had one album, CD. That was the first CD I put out, and then just started putting out CDs every year or two ever since then, pretty much.
Wow.
Um, but the country band started. Let's see, around '02, so about 20 years ago.
Okay.
And I just called it the Dan Whitaker Country Band. And then we started playing this little hole in a wall in Chicago called the Hottie Biscotti.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that. Yeah.
We kind of learned our chops there. I learned like a lot of classic covers, classic country covers and
Sure,
stuff like
sure.
that. Um, and
Did you ever
then
did you ever play the Horseshoe?
Horseshoe, yep,
Do you
on
remember that
Lincoln.
place? Yeah, on Lincoln
Yep.
Avenue. That was a great place too.
Yeah, that was. I think it was run by cokeheads for a while, and
Yes, it was. It was a front. It
it's
was.
it's it was a weird place. It closed and opened up again.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And then
yeah,
and the guy that owned the building was a dude next door who owned a bicycle shop who could barely speak English. I mean, he was a really sweet guy, but he stepped in and was like, "I'm doing it." He's like,
hmm
I'm gonna run this barbecue slash honky tonk, and I don't care what people say." And I was sort of playing there at the time, and he sort of hit me up for assistance as much as he could because he had no
hmm
idea what he was doing. No idea. Do you remember this guy?
I remember that guy. Yeah, he was a cool dude.
Yeah, he was really nice, but he just had no idea like how to run a club of any
hmm
so yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. That was a pop up memory. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, let's see. At one point, I think in '04, we changed the name to Dan Whitaker and the Shinebenders. We put out an
Okay.
album called Shinebender.
Yes.
Yeah, and with the song Shinebender on it too. So we did that. That pretty much lasted up until my guitarist left. But before the pandemic, or at the pandemic, basically.
Okay.
And so since then, I've just been kind of going as Dan Whitaker. I still have the other two guys in my band. It's trio,
Hmm.
um, and that's how I've been touring with the trio.
Oh, with the trio. What
Mhm.
piece is that? What kind of instrumentation you got with that?
Drums, stand up bass, and then I switch between acoustic and electric,
Okay.
and then I play a whole lot of harmonica these days.
Okay. Did you have a permanent pedal steel player for a long time?
We did, yeah. Actually, we were a five-piece for about 12 years, maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Different steel players, they come and go. And
Now,
then
go ahead.
after the last one left, we were just like, we don't really need a steel player.
Oh, wow. That's an intense mentality for a honky tonk band to think that.
Yeah, it was a leap, but
Yeah.
it worked.
Yeah, but they're not like a dime a dozen, man. They're hard to find. I mean, you got Joel
hmm
Patterson living in Chicago, but he's a highly regarded player.
He does play steel. Yeah, I've seen him play steel. I actually play steel myself, but I can't
Okay.
play steel in my own band because I
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to sing.
Yes. You never see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is kind of like the elephant in the room. I mean, you don't see a lot of like honky tonk bands in Chicago, you know? I mean, you got the Old Town School of Folk Music there, which may have spawned a few honky tonk bands, but for the most part, like when I was living there, there was not very many honky tonk, like traditional straight up honky tonk bands.
hmm
Uh,
Well, the one that comes to mind that's been around for as long as I've been doing this is the Hoyle brothers.
yes, they were great. Yes, you're right.
They're still around.
And
They're still
he taught at the guitar player taught at
Steve. Yep, Steve
Steve.
Doyle.
Yeah, he's incredible. Steve, what a great,
Yep.
yeah, and what a player he is too.
Yep, Steve
One,
Doyle and Brian Wilkie are in the Hoyle brothers, and they're
yes,
the dynamic duo of
yes.
steel and telly players.
I was gonna say they were sort of a staple at the Hideout. So the Hideout was for those that don't know, sort of this. I mean, it was kind of hard to find. It was like kind of in the middle of an industrial field. It seemed like, and uh,
Hmm.
and a tiny. I kind of always thought it was sort of a bar they built for the industrial workers. That's what it felt like. Kind of just somebody built a barn and said, "Hey, let's put a barn in. Let's put a bar in here." But it was nicer than that. But they always had the incredible Bloodshot Records bands play there, and I was always jealous of that when I lived there. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
impossible to break into that scene. It seemed like so.
pretty much. They're
Yeah,
still there. They're still there. I mean, Bloodshot is I don't know what the hell happened to that, but
just yeah, they're no moss. Yeah, some
I
weird.
think someone bought it. Or someone bought the label and all the
Oh,
recordings or something. I don't know what's going on, but
yeah.
I was never connected with Bloodshot. So.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was a tough scene to get into. I was always kind of needling at people that I kind of knew that were on Bloodshot to be like, "Hey, how do you get in? How do you get a
Hmm.
gig? How do you get a gig at the Hideout? Or how do you get somebody to look at you on Bloodshot?" And finally, it was funny because I met Nan, the gal. I think she was like one of the co-owners, maybe, and she was a high up in the organization. I met her at Folk Alliance one year, and she was super nice. And that was I was like, man, if I would have met you 10 years ago, it would have been perfect. You know. So, but yeah, but she took some of my music, and I submitted some artists to her. But yeah, that was an interesting scene. Not many of those style bands there. So oh, we got Ronnie Beck, the drummer from Tower of Power, joining us. Hey, what's up, Ronnie Beck? Wonder if he just said, "What's up, y'all?"
What up?
Yeah, that's cool. Um, so what other clubs in Chicago would you say that you frequented? I know you tour a lot, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, the hideout's still there. I don't play there too often, but every once in a while. Uh, Phyllis's Musical Inn, been there forever,
oh my gosh,
and I still play there. I just played there last weekend. So,
is that on Montrose
no, it's on Division and Wood.
Division Wood? Okay.
Division used to be the old Polish Broadway
Oh no, I think I'm
back in the
thinking.
40s and 50s.
Okay, I'm thinking of Sylvie's.
Sylvie's is gone.
Sylvie's is gone. Okay.
Hmm.
She was pretty old when she was running that place back in early 2000s, mid to 2010ish. Um, yes,
Yeah,
Phyllis.
let's see what else. Where do I play in town? I mean, Fitzgerald's is always been there. That's not Chicago, but it's Berwyn is like a southern
Mhm.
adjacent city to
Yeah,
Chicago,
right, right.
basically Chicago.
Yes, and
So
that's
I play there.
cool. They get a lot of great bands out there.
Yeah, that place was new owner a or over the pandemic,
Mhm.
and they have an outdoor stage as well as the club. Now they have the sidebar is been redone. So I
Okay,
haven't been there yet, but I guess it's pretty nice now.
cool. Yeah, Phyllis's is a hot little neighborhood right there. I have a
Oh
sister.
yeah.
My cousin-in-law lives around the corner, and she had no idea about that place. And I'm like, wait a minute, you like good music? You've never been to Phyllis's? And she's like, no, I just thought it was a hole in the wall bar. I didn't know anything about it. I'm like, oh my God, you've got to go check it out. So she went and checked it out, and I think she became like a regular there. She's like yeah,
Hmm.
incredible. She was just like, this was right under my nose, and I had no idea about it. Um, some really,
Yeah.
really, and there are a lot of Ameripolitan bands play there, that I know.
Yeah. I mean, they run the gamut between just kind of just whatever like trashy rock and
Right.
the stuff that I do and
Hmm.
um, you know really anything jazz singer-songwriters.
Cool. Cool.
It's kind of a do-it-yourself place. Is tips. So you gotta get that tip bucket going around if you want to
Ah,
make your money.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. I know Bailey D plays there a lot. She's a Maripolitan singer. She's so let's talk about a Maripolitan for a second. You and I
Sure.
actually met. We didn't know each other in Chicago, which is crazy because you were there when I was there.
Hmm.
And I'm amazed that we did not cross paths because I knew a ton of bands.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but
No, so strange because my band Haywood Yards was kind of playing all the same places you were, and we were doing kind of
hmm.
bluegrass rock, uh,
Right.
Maripolitan to style, sort of. I mean, we weren't super honky tonk until I moved back to Nebraska, but yeah, that really was funny to me. So you and I actually met in Memphis at the Ameripolitan Awards, and I want to say this was maybe 4 years ago. Um, it
Hmm.
was, I think
Sounds
it
about right.
was it the first year that it was in Memphis?
Could have been, or the second. I went to like three in a row,
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah. What a great experience that was. For those that don't know, the Ameripolitan Awards, I always explain it as it's like the Grammy Awards for people that don't like the Grammys, right? So it's or for bands that are in the genre of country swing, honky tonk. What else am I
Hmm.
missing?
Outlaw.
Outlaw, bluegrass. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what an incredible experience it was, and we basically took over a hotel. I think the awards ceremony was at Graceland. It was at the Graceland Hotel, the really nice new Graceland Hotel, and we stayed at this smaller hotel that was recommended by Dale Watson's drummer Mike. He's like, no, 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 you want to stay here because that's where all the parties are at. I was like,
Hmm.
so we did, and it was just like nonstop, like 4 or 5 in the morning jams in the lobby, big circle jams, like super incredible people singing and playing, and you'd walk by people with amazing nudie suits, and just it was just an experience. So, and then that's where you and I met.
Yeah, I think I met you right in the lobby there of the Magnuson.
Yes, yes. Were you?
Yeah, there was some
I
great
think,
jams.
yeah, you might have been singing in that jam that we had. I think.
Probably was.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I wouldn't, I couldn't get I couldn't get an official Ameripolitan slot, so I was just
Right.
show up every night at midnight and play till 4 in the morning in the
Which
lobby.
is kind of cool because people got to see you. So you didn't really
Hmm.
need. It wasn't like Folk Alliance or one of these things where like if you don't get a spot, you're screwed. There was actually like legitimate jams going on where crowds were huge and they were watching these bands that were just like taking the bull by the horns, right? Just
Oh
doing.
yeah, and then in 2020, the last year Ameripolitan happened. This is right before the pandemic because it was February. They were having the jams are actually in Dad's, which was there's a bar at the Magnuson / Travel Lodge, whatever it's called.
Hmm.
Um, but if you went, we took over the bar and we had like there's drums and bass and everything up there,
Nice.
and we and there was people dancing on the dance floor until like 5 in the morning. And it was great.
That's awesome. That is great, man. It's a nice shoe in the door for a traveling musician like yourself too, to really kind of network with a lot of people who are doing it.
Hmm.
That's why we went down there. I mean, we were playing more and more shows, and we weren't actually touring heavily like you were, but we went down and made some incredible. That's where I met Lara Hope, and I ended up signing her to Sower Records, and she's doing great, still touring as much as she can. And um, I met so many people down there that um, the jukebox mama who makes nudie suits. I met her down there. Just it's like
Hmm.
you would literally like talk to somebody for 20 minutes, turn, meet somebody right by you, and talk to them. It's just like really amazing. Everybody was down there to just have a good time.
Yeah, I miss it. I hope hopefully it gets going again pretty
Yeah,
soon.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's Dale Watson. For those of you that don't know, he's a staple here in Lincoln, Nebraska, at the Zoo Bar, and he was a staple in Chicago when I worked at Martyrs, and um, he kind of makes the rounds. But yeah, that's
Hmm.
his deal. I think he's sort of the man behind the curtain on that stuff. I
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
Yep, yep. So
And he's
And
got his club now too down there, Hernando's Hideaway. We played there in November.
oh
Beautiful,
yeah,
beautiful club. Yeah,
how'd that go, man?
it was cool.
Yeah, sweet. How'd you book it? You just kind of traditionally booked it and went down there?
Yeah, they're well, their booking was changing hands quite a bit there for a while, so that could be a little tricky. But yeah,
Yeah,
standard booking.
standard booking. Yeah, that's awesome. Was there a built-in crowd? Because it seemed like when he was doing the streams, there was kind of a lot of people there.
Not really, but yeah, I no, that place is not like in like a tourist area or anything.
Okay,
It's right off of Elvis Presley Boulevard. It's near Graceland, but
okay.
it's not like a place where just people walk in off the street. It's a destination bar for sure.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, yeah. That's crazy. I see. I think I saw. Isn't that where he's been doing his live streams from?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a really cool looking stage.
very cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
leopard
yeah.
skin.
Leopard skin, everything. That's
Mhm.
kind of Dale's style, with him and his lady's style. Yeah. So I follow her on Instagram. She's interesting too. So well, cool, man. So I was going to talk about your latest record. So tell us about this. It just came out this last year in 2021.
Mhm.
It's called One More Story Told.
Yep.
And man, I listened to this record with your sound in mind, and I was pretty shocked at how different it was. You know,
Mhm.
not in a bad way though. I think you know, that I was getting some Leonard Cohen vibes. I was getting some, like 60s sort of songwriting style vibes, more folky vibes on
Mhm.
this record. Can you talk a little bit about that?
For sure. Yeah. Well, when the pandemic started, I was despondent because I couldn't play. I was depressed. And I don't know. I just picked up the old acoustic guitar and started playing some stuff. And I was figured like, well, I guess I should do some kind of stream or something. And I got to do something here.
Lackadaisically trying to make
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So I started playing, and I have this trove of all these old songs that are not necessarily country,
Mm,
you know, and from the Great Plains Gypsies, from Junebug Massacre, Horseman Bill, all these old bands, some other bands that I played with. Um, I got into playing those songs again. I'm like, well, hell, I mean, I'm just playing here alone on a guitar doing a stream. I could do whatever the hell I want,
right,
So
right,
I started mining all these old songs, and I'm like, oh yeah, I like this song. I remember this song
right.
because I've been used to just being playing honky-tonk songs, country songs for the last 15 years or whatever. So I was like, wow, this is great. And then I just decided to make an album of all these old songs of mine, um, mostly that I used to do rock versions of. So I went into the studio and recorded these kind of folk versions with my buddy Todd Rittman, from he's in Dead Rider, was in US Maple, old buddy of mine from the DeKalb days.
Cool.
um, and we we just recorded it. I got Chase and Earl in, and then I just played everything else myself. And so yeah, it's kind of a anthology of older material of mine, kind of re-envisioned. And
So when you write songs, do you have a written, handwritten version that you keep in a file, or are these filed away in your mental catalog?
both. I mean, I don't dig around through old notes very much, but I I have kind of an elephant's memory for old songs. I just have to access the right time and spot, and they pop up in my brain again.
Nice. Yeah. That's the Paul Simon method, if you're aware.
Okay.
You know, he never wrote down anything ever. That's the way he works. He just
Oh, okay.
kept it
Well,
all.
I do write them down. I have an official, you know, scrap of paper somewhere
Yeah, yeah.
with the words.
I
Um,
always like keep a big stack of ridiculous papers, and they're all sort of like half of it will be from one song, and the other half will be from another. And I'll be reading through one, and I'll be like, "Hey, this is great," and then I'll start singing. And I'm like, "Oh man, that's already been this song."
mhm.
You just kind of they're all like fragmented versions of songs that you ripped apart and used for different things. And so yeah, it's an interesting method to keep. And I'm like you, I keep about 80% in my head, but the other 20% I get spurred from notes and just random papers lying around, which my wife
Yeah.
hates. Like Dolly Parton keeps a notepad in every single room she walks into, just in case something hits her. She's got to be able to
Hmm.
write it down. So I'm always interested to hear about how songwriters do it. So
And in the last 10 years, I record a lot of stuff. If there's a little, I'll wake up in the middle of the night with a song in my head from a dream or whatever, and I'll just record that thing, and I'll
nice.
forget about it, and then I'll look at my phone like a year later, and what's this? And then I'll finish up the song if it's any good.
Little memo notes or
Yeah.
video memos. Yep. That's a great way to do it. I also do that, to where it's just like, don't let this thought slip away. That's really cool. I mean,
Hmm.
your catalog is extensive. I mean, um, I think on Spotify now, I even went back to '99 and listened to this record. It's a really great record, "Moving On with You," which is
Yeah. Yeah.
which you remastered.
Yeah. I remastered that beginning of 2021,
Yeah,
and then I put out the new album. Yeah.
it's just funny because a lot of this stuff on this album sounds like what you're doing now. It's got more folky, more harmonica driven.
Yeah.
There was a few songs on here that kind of reminisced of like your current sound, which is very cool. So, but I would urge everyone to go check out the latest record from Dan Whitaker. It's called One More Story Told. And the songs before that are very honky tonk in my opinion. It's got the boom chuck beat, it's got the pedal steel sound. The content that you're writing about is more honky tonk, but the latest record is like even down to the content. The One More Story Told, the title track, is super good. It's really nice, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really fun song, and it takes some neat chord changes, and the lyrics are really great too. So
Yeah, we did a cool video for that.
you did cool.
Jacob Hand put that together for me, so check that out on YouTube.
I'm gonna.
It got a good amount of views. I was out singing to the traffic on Western Avenue. It's
Oh
pretty
my
fun.
god, really? That's awesome. I'm gonna post this in the chat for everybody that wants to watch it later.
Cool,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I'll do that right now.
So
Uh,
when we play live, what I like to do now is we have like a little acoustic segment that I'll go to. So I'll be playing, it'll be regular honky tonk, our kind of bluesy honky tonk thing that we do. Then I'll grab the acoustic and play some acoustic stuff. So it's kind of like a little tangent. We go kind of like more folky for a bit, and then I'll put that down, pick up the telly again, and we'll launch into some jazz or whatever.
nice.
Um, so yeah, I like to kind of mix it in so it's your ears are constantly hearing something new. Every
Yes,
five or six songs.
nice. Well, I remember when we met down in Memphis. I remember your band just being off the chain good. I mean, they're just great players.
Thank you. Yeah.
So I think you found some really good players. Have you played with the same guys for a long time?
Yeah, it's just me in the rhythm section, and they've been with me. Well, Earl's been with me. He was in Great Plains Gypsies, so that he goes back a long time, and he was we met on the dorm floors back in NIU
Oh,
at
nice.
Stevenson North. So I met him in 1986, and he started playing bass for me in about 1998.
Okay.
Before that, he was just loading the van and stuff like that, driving the van. Now he's playing the bass, loading the van, and driving the van.
Nice. So he was he was like a roadie for you for a while.
Yeah, we were roommates, just
Okay.
buddies.
Sure.
And so yeah.
That's
So
funny.
we go way back. And then Chase, I met, or my other guitar player brought him on in '04, because he said, "Oh, this guy's a good drummer. Check him out." So he sat in with us for a set at Hottie Viscotti, and I just told him to stay there behind the drums, and he's been my drummer ever since.
Oh my God, that's hilarious, man. Very cool. That's super funny. That is funny. So it looks like you charted number 9, right behind Willie Nelson. Can you talk about this? Is it alt country chart?
Oh, the alt country chart. Yeah, that was what was that was far away, I think, right?
Far away. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that one did pretty well. I mean, that was a new chart at the time, so
Yeah,
it's probably a brand new chart. I don't know.
yeah,
I've,
that's super cool.
charts are funny though. I mean, they're just these esoteric things that only
Right.
artists really care about, and
Yeah,
no one that listens to music even knows what the hell the alt country chart is or whatever.
right. The Billboard chart is kind of that way these days. It's all
Yeah.
based on like record sales, and you have to
Mhm.
turn them in and everything. Yeah, super funny. My 2016 release hit number 2 on the Billboard like the first week, just because I claimed all the sales that first week or whatever. But it was really funny. It's like you could say that you're on Billboard, but it's like, it doesn't really mean anything these days. But it's yeah, still maybe. I mean, it's good to using your self promotion or whatever.
That's
But
about it, right?
right, yeah. But man, your history is just the discography that I'm looking at is impressive. I mean, it really is. DanWhitaker.com if anybody wants to go check it out. There's some really fun stuff on here. And of course, your tour schedule's listed. Looks like you have a lot of February dates coming up here.
Yeah, I got to list a bunch of March dates. I have them booked, but I got to get my act together, get them
Nice.
on bands in town.
That's great. Oh, I see you're playing at Carol's Pub. Carol's
Yeah,
is another Chicago bar that I remember.
yeah, it's an institution.
Yes. Is Carol's, is that down on Lincoln as well?
It's
Oh,
on Clark.
Clark. Yes.
It's near Clark and Lawrence.
Yep. That's
Yep.
right.
So that was they basically had the same band play
Oh,
for
this
like
is
4 days a week. Diamondback played for
Diamondback.
years and
Okay.
years and years.
Yes. This is the 4 o'clock bar. 5 o'clock on
Yeah,
Saturday.
yeah. So
Dude, that's legendary.
it finally went under a few years back, and then Ed Warm and some of his associates they bought it, and it's a really nice place now. It's not a dump like it used to be.
Right? Yes. It was kind of a dump before, but that was kind of its appeal. Yeah.
Hmm.
I was thinking of I was getting this confused with the Save More Lounge, which is on Lincoln Avenue, I think. And
The
that
Seymour is still there too. I played there last year.
yeah, and it looks like they're having more live music these days. Yeah.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, we were one of the very first bands to play back. Like they'd never had music, and I went in there, and Jason was the son of the owner, and I'm like, "Hey, you see?"
Yep.
We talked him into booking us in there. We played in there quite a bit.
Yeah,
It was,
Jason's running the show now.
yeah, that's great. Jason's an awesome cat. He's very
Hmm.
cool. But Carol's Pub, I gotta mention, on my bachelor party evening, my family, my brothers all took me out, and my friends all took me out. And it was like 3 a.m. we ended up at Carol's. And you would think that I would just be ripped, like not even be able to walk. But everybody else around me was so drunk and I was fine. Yet I was doing the most shots. And I ended up getting up and playing with Diamondback for the last hour of the night. And I mean,
Wow.
I was just thinking to myself, like, it pops in my head once in a while, but I always get a kick out of it because I'm like, here I am, like I'm supposed to be on the floor, right? I'm supposed to be just laying on a table, and all of a sudden I'm getting up playing with this killer band. I mean, Diamondback was like how many times a week? 4 or 5 times a week. They
Yeah,
just
they like live there or something. I don't
yeah,
know.
it's crazy,
They
dude.
still play there, but it's they don't play every day. They're in the
Was
rotation.
did the drummer have like a mohawk? Do you remember this guy?
I don't know. I'm sure they've had a few drummers, but the guy they've had for the last bunch of years is kind of a little younger than the other people on it.
Okay. But I
Yeah.
yeah, I remember them just being killer. And you'd walk into this great country bar and it would just be like in the middle of the city, and you're hearing this really awesome, great. I mean, they really delved the catalog. They really went deep and played some really cool songs. That's awesome that
Hmm.
that's still there. Still it's made it.
Yeah, I'm playing there in what, February? Yeah.
Nice. That's great. I urge all you Chicago friends to go out and see that show. It's I want to get back to Chicago. It's been way too long. I miss it. I miss my old stomping grounds, and I lived at like 5,000 Western, like right on Lincoln Avenue. So like about a
Hmm.
half a block down from Lincoln Square, like basically in Lincoln Square. So
Yeah,
I mean,
cool.
all those old German bars are, like the Hooten bar's not there anymore, which is sad.
Hmm.
And the Brauhaus isn't there anymore. That's sad. So it's changed a lot, I bet, since I've been back. But
Yeah, I mean I live right off of Western, but not that part. I'm down by Augusta.
oh, okay. Do you remember Quenchers?
Sure.
Yeah. Did you
I
play?
was there. Oh yeah, everybody played Quenchers.
Yeah, it's a great place. Great.
That went under. There's a place across the place a street called Mutiny that went under.
Yes. Oh my God, the Mutiny. That place is
Hmm.
nuts.
World's largest urinal.
Oh my God. I always felt like I was going to get stabbed at the Mutiny. I feel like that's like their marketing coin line, like come to the Mutiny. Always feel like you'll get stabbed at the Mutiny. I mean, just incredibly hardcore, ridiculous bands played at the Mutiny, I feel like.
Well, if it says bands wanted on the glass outside,
Yeah.
that you're gonna have
Yeah.
what kind of company you're gonna be with.
Right. It's gonna get pretty gnarly, especially right on like, Western Avenue right there. It
Hmm.
was yeah. We used to always play Quenchers, get tired and bored of Quenchers, go over to the Mutiny where we thought we were gonna get stabbed and just like enjoy the rest of the night. Like it was like exciting, even though you felt like at any minute, you know, you could die. But that was kind of the rush of that place. It was like, God, this is crazy. So yeah, yeah, insane stuff. Well, man, this has been super fun. Is there anything else that you want to promote? Check out danwhitaker.com. That's Whitaker. What else you got going on?
Yeah, I have an album in the can. I just recorded an album with Alex Hall,
Wow.
and he is in Western Allston's. Does a lot of stuff with Joel Patterson.
Oh, man, they're so good.
He's an amazing recording engineer as well as an amazing drummer, and real excited about this album. So we just got to get it out. It'll be out sometime this year, and I think it's going to be called "I Won't Play by Your Rules," which is one of the songs, one of my new songs too. So
Nice.
this will be all new material. It's very it's a mix of everything: honky-tonk, jazz, folk, and blues, and yeah, it's going to be fun. And we'll just be touring off and on. I'm moving down to Texas too, so
Oh, really, dude? Really?
yeah.
Wow,
So
that's huge.
I got a lot going on this year personally.
Wow.
Just moving my operations down to the Austin area.
Okay, so you're going to Austin. Good for you, man.
Hmm.
Wow, that's incredible. That's a big move for you.
Yeah, a lot of good clubs down there.
Yes. for sure, man, for sure. There's no question about that. I know that a lot has changed for even locals around there, but I mean the element of honky tonk and the music clubs down there is obviously still huge. But that's
Yeah,
really good news for
I'm
you.
excited.
Good. Well, cool, man. Well, this was an honor to have you on the show. You and I don't talk a lot, but I keep tabs on you online, which is great. And you've always threatened to come through Lincoln, Nebraska, and I hope you do um, at some point.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be there sometime this year. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hit me up, and of course, I'll always do my best to facilitate. There's a lot of great clubs here in Lincoln, so you know,
cool.
keep doing your thing, man. I love it, and yeah, this has been awesome. I appreciate you being on the show, and everybody that's out there, make sure to share this, give a hype, throw us a donation so we can keep the lights on. That's all going to a good cause, kind of paying for the podcast here. So we appreciate it. Dan, thank you so much, brother.
Great to talk to you, Mike.
Awesome. All right, guys. Have a good day. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.